Hey y'all, welcome in, welcome in. I hope y'all are having a fantastic Tuesday. Y'all, why we found some brothers that we believe belong to Diddy, because they got the same type of situation going on. Y'all, there is a set of brothers, the Alexander brothers. Y'all, they are doing worse. They have done worse things than Diddy. Y'all, these are some real estate multimillionaires, three brothers. Y'all, they said that they've been doing this type of things to women for a very long time. They are accused of some of the horrific things that Diddy has done. Y'all, welcome in, smash the like button, come into the building. Y'all, it is going down, you guys. These Alexander brothers, they're a set of twins, and then another brother. Y'all, they were doing crazy stuff. So we're going to read and we're going to watch some videos. So it says Alexander brothers will await their great charges in New York City jail, where they stay. They'll stay with Diddy. Sigmund, what's his name? Sigmund something and Freed, whatever his name is, and Luigi Magnioli, the one that unalived the CEO from that healthcare company. Y'all, they are about to be on their way to the MDC because they have federal charges and they have state charges. They're three brothers. They're multimillionaires of real estate multimillionaires. They got money. And y'all, they've been raping women and doing all kind of horrific things, disgusting things, y'all. So let's get into it. It says, when the notorious Alexander brothers arrive in New York, they will not be headed for the exclusive nightclubs, fancy restaurants, and raging parties to which they were once and alleged, the one that unalived the insurance guy, Luigi Maggione. Y'all, I'm telling you, these three are something else, y'all. These brothers are something else. Welcome, Lulu's World. Welcome in. Y'all, smash the like button as you guys come in the building. Y'all, so it says the three Miami-based brothers, Orrin, Tal, and Allen, have been arrested and jailed on multiple counts of sex trafficking by a federal judge in New York, meaning the millionaire real estate brothers, brokers, will be brought to the MDC, where their other homeboy is, brother from another mother, aka Diddy, is at. So y'all, they are heading to the MDC from Miami. Y'all, they have federal and state charges, y'all. I mean, I just stumbled upon this and I was like, OMG, Diddy got a couple of, some twins out there, right? So it says, sources close to the Alexanders, who have all pleaded not guilty, said they were going to be hauled off from their native Miami to New York by bus, y'all. By the bus. The feds are going to haul them off by bus from New York to Miami, the MDC. And they said a trip set to last for up to 5 days, and are expected to be in the MDC early next week. Y'all, are they gonna pack them the brown lunch, brown bag lunch? I don't know, y'all, because 5 days being on the bus in the shackles, y'all, I mean, that's going to be a rough trip for them, right? Y'all, welcome in. Smash the like button as y'all come in the building, y'all. So let's continue. It says, as high-profile inmates accused of sex crimes, they will almost definitely be assigned to an area of the jail known as 4 North. Hey, welcome in, Nathan. It says, it is a dorm facility that houses 20 inmates, all of them high value and in danger of getting roughed up by the general population. This is where one will find Diddy awaiting sex trafficking charges, Bankman-Fried convicted of financial crimes, and the anti-capitalist chick magnet Maggione accused of powing down a healthcare CEO. Hey, Lisa, welcome in. Hey, Joe, welcome in. Y'all, welcome in. So it says that's where they will have to go, Gene Barello said. A former mob enforcer who did time at the MDC told the Post, right? Y'all, these brothers were doing some awful things. It says 4 North is all people with millions of dollars and high profile cases, said Barello. They're not violent, and every talks and even talks and hangs out. They got money. Hey, John. Hey, Paul, welcome in. It says if things don't go as expected and the brothers somehow wind up in the general population at the MDC, Barello fears it's a whole other story. If they have Rex crime charges and they go to general population, they are going to be lunch meat. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Welcome in the Loch Ness Monster. Welcome in LL Starworth. Welcome in, y'all. Smash the like button, y'all. We got some 3 brothers, the set of twins, and the third brother that are Diddy's brother from another mother, right? They got the same type of charges. Hey, Nor, welcome back. They have the same type of charges as Diddy. Y'all, these 3 brothers are multimillionaires. They got state and federal charges. They've been doing the worst, horrific things to women. And they said they've been doing this stuff since they were like in high school. They got the money and they had the ho mermaids. That's what they're saying. They were messing and doing stuff to these women that was just unbelievable. I mean, y'all, this is crazy. I mean, it is really crazy. It says, if things don't go as expected, the brothers somehow wind up in the MDC. Barello fears it's a whole other story if they have the Rex charges, and they will be, somebody's lunch meat, right? They'll get hot water thrown at them or something. They won't even last 24 hours. It says Jeff Nadu, who hosts the Crime History podcast, the Sit Down with Jeff Nadu, described the general population conditions at MDC as nonstop, cutting, stabbing, fighting, a lot, right? A whole lot. All kind of stuff. But y'all, we're gonna watch a video, and y'all, these brothers are a piece of work, y'all. They have been doing things for a very, very long time. A very long time. Let's see where this video is at. Oh my goodness, y'all. They are the brothers. I mean, they've been related to Diddy for all these years, y'all, and we didn't even know. Y'all, we did not even know. Hey, loving myself, welcome in. Welcome in. So y'all, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, when I stumbled upon this, I was like, OMG, these brothers is a piece of work. But we gonna watch this video. Let's watch this video with the brothers, y'all. So they were indicted. They were already arrested, y'all. They were already arrested, and is on a bus trip with the feds that's going to take 5 days. They're going to have to pack them a brown bag sandwich, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the way up from Miami to the MDC in New York. 5 days, y'all. Could y'all imagine 5 days being in the shackles and being on the bus for 5 days with the feds? Y'all, I'm telling you, I could not be on no bus. I could not imagine. I definitely wouldn't be in no trouble like that. But being on a bus in shackles for a long time, 5 days, y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. But y'all, let's look at these brothers and see, because this is a judge in Florida, December 12th, 2024, and she's reading them, they rights or whatever.
So in this case as well, I'm okay setting a bond of $25,000. That's a substantial bond.
Your Honor, the state, again,
Hey, my baby, Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. Welcome in. Jamil says, salute, beautiful. Salute to you, baby. Welcome in. Welcome in. So we're going to listen to the judge and see what she's telling them.
Arrest, level 3, house arrest. And that's it. You'll have
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, for F-24 25503 Alpha, that's gonna stay as a no bond, correct?
That's correct. That's no bond. He's going to see the division judge tomorrow. The other two cases, the $25,000 bond plus house arrest, level 3 house arrest, which is GPS roaming, surrender of his passport or travel documents to his attorney prior to posting the bond. I don't need that on the jail card. So the state filed a motion for pretrial detention pursuant to Florida statute 907.041. And because this charge, while it allegedly occurred back in 2016, is still considered a dangerous.
Y'all, they went back to 2016 and she said it's a dangerous crime. But y'all, let's continue to listen to this judge because this is crazy. These is 3 brothers, it's a set of twins, and then the third brother.
Crime, even though it's filed today, I'm required to hold you with no bond. So you're going to have a hearing tomorrow before the division judge, and that judge will set a final hearing on the state's motion for pretrial detention.
Yes, Jamil, baby, I see him in the ninja suit that you told me about. Jamil says you see the Ninja Turtle suits he got on. Yes, I see the Ninja Turtle suits. All 3 of them had on the Ninja Turtle suits. I mean, y'all, these boys they was in them streets. Y'all, they was running a monk, y'all. These are multi-millionaire brothers that have they're multi-millionaire real estate like investors or something. I think they're real estate investors. But y'all, let's continue.
Unless there's an agreement between the parties.
Uh-oh. Y'all, welcome in. Let's skip this commercial. And let's skip this commercial and wait for this commercial, I guess. But y'all, there's these 3 brothers. I'm telling you, y'all, they were doing some awful things. Some of the crimes that they were doing were back in 2016 from what the judge is just saying. But y'all, we got to wait for this commercial. But y'all, these people are sickening. Just because they have money, I guess they feel like they were doing whatever they want to do, like Diddy, you guys. Just like Diddy. They are going to the MDC. They said they will be there by next week. They are going 5 days, y'all. I could not imagine going 5 days and being in no shackles on no bus for 5 days from Miami all the way to the MDC. So they have federal charges and they have state charges. We're just waiting for this commercial to I didn't get that. Could you try? Waiting for this commercial to spill over. Let me see. Hold on just a second, y'all. Let me see. Let me see if I can swing it over. But y'all, these twins is something else. They is something else because they got money. I guess they feel like money talks and everything else walks. But I think that would, let me see, I think that might have been it with that one. But y'all, we're going to go into another video. So right now, hey, Angel Mom. Hey, Ayla. Hi, Carol. Nor, welcome. Y'all, welcome. Y'all, I did not know of this case until literally right before I went live. I kind of read up on it. And then I found a couple of videos and I was shocked, y'all. These brothers were a mess. They had a lot of money, a lot of money. They was balling out of control, doing the most. I mean, doing everything under the sun. And y'all, the situation became hot for them to where they have state and federal charges. But y'all know Damon over there at the HSI did a press conference for him, just like they did with Diddy. Y'all, these people are filthy rich, these 3 brothers, and it's crazy. But we gonna listen in and see what Damon over there at the HSI, he had a press conference, a Diddy 2.0 press conference. So let's see what Damon has to say about these boys, these brothers, Diddy's brothers.
The Alexander brothers worked together and with others to repeatedly and violently drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of female victims.
Prosecutors say 3 wealthy brothers used their power and money to rape dozens of women, including a woman who says the brothers forced her into an SUV, took her to a remote mansion where security helped keep her imprisoned. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but multiple civil lawsuits filed against the brothers are coming back into the headlines as they currently face federal and state.
See, Jamil, this one's in the turtle suit. I think that's his twin. I want to say that's his twin. But y'all, let's continue.
8 criminal charges. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Now, we first told you about Oren Alon and Tal Alexander last week. The twins and their older brother are accused by federal and state authorities of abusing women that they lured in using money, power, and also the promise of a relationship. They have reportedly made millions of dollars.
Oh, hold on. Was this the same thing Diddy was promising? He said that they were promising relationships, and these are multi-million-dollar brothers. They got money. They are real estate investors, I believe. I believe it was. Y'all, this is crazy, but y'all, let's listen, because these boys, y'all, they was out there in them streets doing everything under the sun to these women.
Over the years in the Manhattan and Miami real estate markets, as well as a family-owned private security firm. They are very well known in both the New York and Florida scenes. But authorities say that it appears that these men, all in their late 30s, have been brutalizing women since they were in high school. On Friday, the twins, Oren and Alon.
Did you hear what he said? He said they've been brutalizing women since they were in high school. Y'all, these brothers got money, and they were running amok with these women, doing all kind of stuff. Jamil says, and they're about to let them walk. How crazy is that? Oh, no. They're not about to let them walk. They are going to the MDC with Diddy. The feds have charges on them. They are going to the MDC with Diddy next week. They will arrive. They have a 5-day transportation pass with the feds on the bus. Are they going to pack them at lunch, y'all? I'm telling you, they got the brown bag lunch that they're going to get with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, probably some hard, crusty bread with some plain chips, y'all. I don't know, but y'all, these boys are rich. They are millionaires. They're twins, and then they have the older brother. Y'all, they've been doing all kind of stuff to these women, running amok, acting a whole donkey like Diddy, y'all. They gonna be in there with Diddy at the MDC, crying and slinging snot, y'all. Let's continue.
Appeared in a Miami-Dade County courtroom and entered pleas of not guilty to state charges that they faced. They were able to secure multi-million-dollar bonds secured by their father's Florida estate, and they were supposed to be on house arrest with GPS monitoring, but the thing about that is they're not actually allowed to be released because they're also under federal indictment, along with...
So they got federal charges, you guys, and that's what the judge, that first video we watched, the judge said, they could, be out on bail, blah, blah, but they have federal charges. So they said, no, absolutely not, sir. The feds are coming to get all three of y'all. The three musketeers is going in the MDC on a bus, a 5-day trip, a 5-day getaway to the MDC with their BFF, Sean Diddy Combs, who's going to be in cell block 1. They all going to be over there in the cell block 1 area. Y'all, they are expected to be in the MDC by next week after their 5-day getaway trip. They is not walking. The judges are not even having this. Y'all, they were going to let them get off if they, not get off, but let them be on like some kind of house arrest. But the judge was like, no, because they have federal charges too. So not only do they have state charges, they have federal charges too. Y'all, let's continue to listen to see what these little jokers was up to.
With their older brother, Tal. So their attorneys appeared in Florida State Court again today as well.
You've already arraigned them both. My understanding today is really just for the parties to settle the last details on the $5 million surety bond. And I know that you were going to give a copy of that to the state so that...
Whoa, she said that one of them had a $5 million surety bond. Whoa, them jokers got some money.
They could review it first.
Well, yes, Judge. We tried on Friday. We went to the corrections with the orders, and the orders never made it to where they were supposed to make it to. So we have to start anew, and we have to prepare mortgages on each decree we haven't done yet. So we would ask for a reset until Thursday of this week.
That's fine.
So the judge kind of warned the attorneys that they may want to wait to settle the bond arrangements until after they find out whether the brothers will be granted bond in their federal case. We learned horrific details on the federal level about the suspect's alleged conduct from Damian Williams, the United States attorney for the...
And y'all know Damon Williams, y'all. Hold up. Y'all know Damon Williams, y'all. He came for Diddy. He had that press conference and had Diddy all his business out on the whole board. And y'all, he had another press conference, y'all, a Diddy 2.0 for the brothers, y'all. The brothers from another mother from Diddy. The three musketeers, y'all. Let's listen. Let's continue to listen. Smash the like button, y'all.
Southern District of New York when he announced their federal charges.
Hold on. We got to go past this commercial, y'all, because Damon is about to read them them charges, right? Let's
To the
continue.
indictment, for years, the Alexander brothers, sometimes with others, also arranged domestic and international trips to carry out their sex trafficking scheme. To recruit and induce women to come on the trips, they provided material benefits, things like travel to vacation destinations, luxury accommodations, and access to other high-end experiences. As alleged, the Alexander brothers met their trafficking victims through a variety of means, in person, over social media, on dating apps, and through social connections.
Oh, y'all, they had everything covered. They probably was at the mall picking up little women, these girls. They was probably on, at the beaches in Miami. Y'all, they was probably in the clubs, y'all, in the casinos, y'all. They were everywhere picking up women on the apps, on the, social media. Y'all, they was over there everywhere scouting out these women and providing them with luxurious stuff. They probably was like, yo, you want to go on a date? You want to go on the yacht? We know through yachts, do according to what Diddy, did on his yacht tour, him and his son. But y'all, let's continue. OMG, y'all, smash the like button, y'all. We got Diddy's Three Musketeers brothers given a over here, locked up now. They won't let them out, about to be transferred to the MDC in cell block 1 OVO. Yes, let's listen to what Damon has to say. Let's listen.
At times, they allegedly use their social connections or the guise of starting a relationship to lure women into their orbit.
By the way, when you're hearing stories like this on Sidebar, do you ever ask yourself, how can I protect myself from what is going on in this world? Or maybe, how about this? How can I protect my home? What place is more important than that? Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't even know this, but apparently...
Let's skip past this little commercial because we trying to get back to these brothers. We trying to see what in the world is going on with the brothers.
The older brother is also facing one count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion on his own with respect to one victim. But he shares another sex trafficking count of force, fraud, or coercion with the twins. This is with respect to another alleged victim. Now, aside from the conspiracy count, which is a little bit more overarching and may include multiple victims, the federal indictment itself details assaults that allegedly happened to two victims with those specific sex trafficking charges. So we're talking about one incident in 2011 and another in 2016, both out in the Hamptons.
Y'all, see, I told you guys. When the feds come for you guys, for people, that do these bad things, did you not hear him say that since 2011? This happened in 2011 and 2016 and probably all up and in between. Y'all smash the like button, y'all. We gonna listen to see what else these jokers was up to.
It's in New York. But they're also facing state charges in Florida. And the state charges are the result of at least 3 women claiming that one or more of the brothers sexually assaulted them in Miami Beach. One of those women even claims that the twins argued about who would get to rape her first.
Oh my God. Did y'all hear what he just said? The brothers were going back and forth to see who was going to grape her first. Y'all, is this not sound like some P. Diddy stuff? Y'all, this is crazy, y'all. This is sickening. Oh my goodness, y'all fighting over who is going to grape her first. Oh my God. Shout out to Celebrity Scandalous. Welcome in the building. Y'all, if y'all are not following Celebrity Scandalous, please Please follow her. She got some great content over there. Also, my baby Jamel Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. My baby is a comedian here on YouTube, y'all. Just check him out, Jamel Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. Subscribe to both of their channels, y'all. Y'all will get some great content. Y'all, let's continue.
Seen recently with the arrest of another wealthy man with ties to New York City and Miami, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Sex trafficking charges from the federal government, they can sometimes come after high-profile lawsuits are filed in civil court. When these alleged victims come forward, that is sometimes when you see the criminal charges. And arguably, that is what happened here, because the Alexander brothers, they have not escaped litigation. Some of these lawsuits came out first. And that is what we're going to talk about right now, because we've got our hands on 5 civil complaints that were filed in both federal and state court. And 4 of the 5 plaintiffs have chosen to identify themselves, but there is one who is proceeding as a Jane Doe. Now, some of the women's stories, they actually match up with what victims have told investigators anonymously in the criminal cases. So it does make you wonder if these alleged victims, these accusers, are actually cooperating witnesses with prosecutors in those cases. So I want to quickly go through the lawsuits. We'll break them down. And to be clear, we are not going to get into the most graphic parts of these women's alleged recollections, but these complaints could obviously have an impact on those criminal cases, especially if prosecutors are able to establish a pattern of behavior by the brothers. So let's start this.
Well, I mean, from what we know, these brothers have been doing this since high school, right? These people have been doing this since high school. These brothers, they've been doing it for a very long time. They are in their, I believe, their late 30s, all of them, the twins and the older brother. Y'all, I'm telling you, there is so many sick people out here, and these people, when they have money, they tend to do crazy stuff. Like, why do they gotta do crazy stuff? They are multimillionaires. They are multimillionaire brothers doing this awful, nasty, disgusting thing to these women. Y'all, dating back in 2011. And y'all, that's why I say you can't sleep on the feds. Because the feds can go back. I mean, y'all, pull surveillance. Y'all, we don't know that them jokers been looking and lurking, checking out stuff for a very long time before these charges are brought. And even if they have to go back and people got evidence, y'all, I'm telling you, the feds, they come, I'm telling you, like a thief in the night. Y'all, let's continue listening. This is crazy.
This off with Kate Whiteman. According to what we found on the New York Supreme Court website, 2 women filed complaints on March 8th, 2024. One named Alana and Oren, the twins, while the other named the twins and a third man, mysteriously known as Sir Ivan. Now, Sir Ivan...
hold up. Okay, Sir Ivan, he kind of reminds me maybe of Janice, Diddy's mom. He looked like he was a whole recruiter. He looked like he is the main head honcho of the Rex trafficking ring. Don't he look like a whole pimp, y'all? I mean, y'all smash the like button, y'all. He looked like a whole pimp. I mean, look at his shirt. Y'all, look at his shirt. Look at him. I mean, y'all, he looked like he is. Oh my God, y'all. I mean, y'all, he is a head honcho. He is the ring master of these brothers, y'all. Let's continue, because I'm telling you, oh, Cat Daddy, look at Cat Daddy. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue, y'all.
Ivan Wilzig, this reported banker, oil CEO turned music creator. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit and talk about what we know about Wilzig.
Okay, they said banker. Y'all, he got some money too.
So his father was reportedly a survivor of the Holocaust who came to the United States. His mother later went on to found the Wilzig Erotic Art Museum in Florida after Wilzig reportedly asked his mom to help him curate some erotic art pieces for a new apartment. This is all, by the way, according to the museum's art website. Ivan Wilzig at first was in the executive suites of his father's companies. This is according to an article in Headliner magazine. But the article says that he later hooked up with a producer and started creating electronic dance music.
If you can organize a closet...
Y'all, we already know what the electronic dance music was geared towards. Y'all, these people got all this money, like I said, and they be doing the most horrific things to people, right? Like, instead of living their life, I mean, why y'all got to go and do these bad things? There is some women that will throw themselves to them for probably even free, right? I mean, yo, we got those type of women that they don't care. They'll go over there, roll up, and you know what I'm saying, have the freak offs and then be out. But y'all, they were doing bad stuff to these women. What is it? Like, they are predatory. Like, no, they don't want the ones that, try to, throw it at them. They want the ones that they want that don't really want to throw it at them, or maybe try to see what they're about. But y'all, these guys are crazy. Let's finish listening.
Be wrapped up in all of this, to say the least. Well, according to a complaint filed by Kate Whiteman, Wilzig had this large home in a remote part of the Hamptons in New York, and she claims that she was taken there, and when she was taken there, she was battered and she was raped.
Wow.
Whiteman, who now lives in Australia, filed her lawsuit against Alon, Oren, and Wilzig in
Oh, so okay, so it was like I said, a little they had the little the trio going on, the 3-for-1 special with this person. Oh my goodness. And he looks, like I said, look at him. I mean, he's pimped out, got the shirt open, the chest showing, the chain. He's smiling like a whole Cheshire cat, like he is the freak off master. OMG, let's continue.
New York State Court. She says back in 2008, she met Alon and Oren and would frequently see the twins out and about in New York City. But according to her complaint, Oren had asked her out on multiple occasions, but she always declined. Then you fast forward to 2012, because she and her friends were leaving a club in the Hamptons. And this is when she says Alon recognized her, grabbed her hand, and pulled her toward a black SUV and forced her inside, where Oren was allegedly waiting.
Oh, wow. He then snatched her up, throwed her in the SUV. Y'all, these people, they is violent. And y'all know when they got money, y'all, they got a lot of goons, right? They got a lot of goons like Diddy. But y'all, this sounds exactly like the same thing that Diddy was doing, right?
The complaint states plaintiff repeatedly asked the twins where they were going, but they refused to answer and instead smirked at one another. After driving for quite some time, the SUV turned off the road, drove up a long driveway in a remote area. Plaintiff later found out she had been taken to Sir Ivan's castle. Once plaintiff and the twins were inside the garage door, the door closed and locked immediately right behind them.
Oh, the door locked immediately right behind him. Y'all, this sounds like I said, with Diddy 2.0. Didn't Diddy say you gotta have locks on the doors? Y'all, these people with money, I mean, y'all, they can go and give it up, swing it over here at the lounge, and we can all take a nice vacation. Everybody riding first class. Everybody gonna get new clothes, shoes, and the whole, tobacco to go on a nice vacation. Y'all, these people are rich and don't even know what to do with their money. It's sickening.
Plaintiff was then told that she must change into a sarong. Plaintiff then proceeded to make a dash for the stairs that led up to the house while fully dressed. As plaintiff bolted for the stairs, there was a security bouncer who grabbed her arm and dragged her back into the garage. At all times relevant herein, this bouncer was an agent, employee, and or servant of defendant Sir Ivan.
Y'all, Sir Ivan, it was probably Sir Ivan's freak off trafficking business, because when they are doing all of that, snatching the girls, throwing them in the car, doing all kind of stuff like that, that's crazy. That's a problem. And then that is a whole operation. Like, are they gonna, is the feds gonna hit them with a RICO act? Because, it was somebody driving the car. It was somebody booking, the transportation to get them girls where they were going, right? Across them state lines. Because y'all know when there is a woman going across state lines for Rex, that is automatic, like a Rex trafficking. Y'all, these people crazy. Let's continue to listen. Smash the like button, y'all.
Plaintiff was ultimately forced to strip and change into a sarong. Her phone and other belongings were placed into a locker that was immediately locked by Warren, who then put the key around his wrist. The twins then led plaintiff upstairs to what appeared to be a large bedroom. And I have to say, one of the things that is so scary about this alleged account is what a sophisticated operation it sounded like, right? going in.
Oh, see, even he's saying it's a sophisticated operation. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got somebody driving the car, you get a key, you put the key around your hand, and you go, in the freak off dungeon, so everybody knows, okay, I got this key, this goes to that locker, her stuff is in there. Y'all, this was a whole organized situation. But y'all, let's continue.
Into the garage. The door locks behind them. There's security there to keep her from running away, and then a locker right there waiting for them to put her stuff into. It's pretty terrifying, to say the least. And Whiteman says that is when both brothers raped her. While she doesn't accuse Wilzig of attacking her, she does claim that defendant Sir Ivan and or his agents, servants, and or employees wrongfully allowed, facilitated, and condoned such conduct. So that is how she...
Wait, hold up, y'all. Put a one in the comment, y'all. If y'all think Sir Ivan was the ringleader, like we know Janice was in Diddy's situation, don't he look like he's a pimp? Don't he look like he was the one running the operation? Because he just said that Sir Ivan didn't partake in the situation that day. That's what the girl said. It was the twins that were graping her. Y'all, Sir Ivan was probably like booking appointments and everything for graping situations going on. When the door shut, it locked behind there. They had lockers for them girls to put their stuff. Who has lockers at a mansion for people to put their stuff in with the key? With the key. Y'all, I'm telling you, this should be, I wonder if it's gonna be a RICO case. Cause is Sir Ivan arrested too? I mean, I don't know. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
She's trying to hold him liable as well. Now, Whiteman's attorneys list 6 causes of action in this lawsuit: sexual assault and battery, violation of New York's gender-motivated violence protection law, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Now, the other woman to file on March 8th is Rebecca Mandel. She's actually represented by the same law firm as Whiteman. Mandel says that she met Alon and Orrin, the 2 defendants named in this lawsuit, back in 2009 in New York City. And the following year, she apparently bumps into them at a nightclub. She says Alon insisted on buying her a drink and then came back several minutes later with a cocktail. Now, she says after that is when her memory starts getting a bit hazy. Mandel said...
And y'all, they were rugging them girls too? Y'all, I'm telling you, is this like it? Y'all, is this like a normal like thing where people got money? They start to rug these girls and then they like kidnapping them, transporting them, whatever, riding them in their little SUVs. They probably black SUVs, because y'all know these are multimillionaires. These brothers are multimillionaires dealing with some real estate. These boys got some money. They got some mucho dinero, y'all. And they over there doing all this crazy stuff. I mean, y'all, this is crazy. This has to be a setup operation. The door shuts and locks. Then they're telling you, hey, put your stuff in the locker. Put your stuff over here in the locker number 1. And here's the key. And then he put the key around his wrist. Y'all, this is crazy. This is a whole operation, a whole RICO.
Says the twins convinced her to go to a party that they were throwing back at their apartment. When they got there, she realized no one else was there and that she had been tricked. This is according to the complaint.
And wasn't Diddy doing that, y'all? Diddy was over there lying to them people, saying, I'm going to make you a star. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Lies, lies, lies. Liar, liar, pants on fire. These boys were doing the same thing, lying to these women, saying that, it's a party and nobody's there but them. I mean, was this a private freak-off party that, he was taking them to? And when they got over there, they're like, we didn't sign up for this program.
Mandel says she was repeatedly held down and raped by both Orrin and Alon, allegedly taking turns doing this.
Wow.
She is suing under 3 causes of action: assault and battery, violation of New York's gender-motivated violence protection law, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Angelica Parker, let's turn to her, because in June of this year, Angelica Parker sued all 3 brothers in New York State court after she alleged that she was assaulted at an apartment in Manhattan. So in her complaint, she says that when she went to the apartment with her friend, identified only as YL, She thought only the twins would be there, but later found out that their older brother Tal was there as well. YL reportedly became...
Oh, so were they having a freak off threesome with the twins and the older brother? Y'all, this is crazy. Yes, celebrity scandalous. Thank you. Smash the like button, y'all. Loving Myself said the world is twisted. User 999 says they look wild as yes, they do look wild, right? And sneaky. I'm telling you, y'all, these boys is something else, y'all. Let's get these likes up. These boys got money. They have a lot of money. Yes, pure survival, y'all. These are rich, multi-millionaire men that were doing this to these women, y'all. This is crazy. This is crazy. They live in Miami. They're multi-millionaire, like real estate people, real estate brothers, and they raping all of these women, y'all. This is crazy. But y'all, don't worry. The MDC, Damon had set him up before Damon went out, and stopped working there at the U.S. District. Y'all, he went ahead and set them up for the okie doke. He was like, yeah, Florida with MDC, they're coming. They're going to bring a bus. All three of the boys are going on a bus, and we're going to take a 5-day field trip. We are packing them, brown bag lunches to come on up to the MDC. Yeah, they're going to the MDC. They'll be there next week on their 5-day trip.
Became uncomfortable with the way that Alon was groping her, so she leaves the apartment. And the complaint reads, however, she was so concerned for Miss Parker's safety that she stayed in the apartment building in a stairwell. After YL left the apartment, Miss Parker was raped by Alon and Tal Alexander together in a coordinated sexual assault that was planned and facilitated by Orrin Alexander along with his brothers. And Parker claims that Orrin just sat in a chair and watched.
OMG, y'all. Diddy like behaviors. Wasn't Diddy sitting there watching like Cassie and other women, get raped and choking his chicken, playing with himself in the corner? Y'all, I'm telling you, were they reading from the same handbook or something? Because Diddy was doing the same disgusting stuff. And they all have money. That's the thing. They all got money, and they're all doing this crazy stuff. I mean, snatching up women, throwing them in the trucks, taking them to their house. When the door shuts, the door automatically locks so they can't run back out. Putting their clothes in the locker like, hey, yeah, put your clothes in here. Y'all, this is disgusting, y'all. Let's finish listening. This is crazy. Y'all, smash the like button.
Now, her friend was still allegedly outside the apartment when Parker left, and then she immediately told her what had happened. And I have to say, in what is a very sick twist.
Hey there.
Uh-oh.
Planning a trip.
Let's skip this commercial. Y'all, these boys are something else. And Sir Irvin, he is a head ringleader. I mean, y'all, he looked like he's a whole pimp and a half. With shirt all open, chain showing. Did he have some peach fuzz sticking out too, looking like a whole real pimp ringleader? Y'all, let's continue. These boys is off the chain.
During this time, the Alexander brothers made various defamatory statements about Miss Parker, gratuitously telling her friends that they had sex with her, without, of course, explaining that the whole event was an orchestrated group rape. And she even claims that years later, Tal burst into her guest room at a home where he was also staying before he was eventually kicked out. And Parker is filing under one cause of action, violation of the gender-motivated violence protection.
And y'all, they look like they got money. I mean, just look. They look like they rich and they just rich and horrible. Rich and just rapists. Rich and rapists. Y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I'm going to explain that also in a little bit, but now I want to go to another accuser, Renee Willett. So a little more than a month after Parker's action was filed in state court, Renee Willett filed a lawsuit against Orrin in New York federal court. And her complaint says that after she had heard that other women had come forward with allegations, she realized she wasn't the only person to be victimized, and that her story could potentially help hold these men accountable. Again, very, very similar to the flurry of lawsuits that we saw in the Sean Combs case.
Ain't that his the Three Musketeers brother from another mother? Welcome in, D-Dot. Welcome in, everybody. Y'all smash the like button, y'all. We are going over this case. We found out that Diddy has some brothers from another mother, a set of twins and an older brother, doing the same exact disgusting thing, raping these women, holding them against their will, trafficking them, doing all kind of stuff, even having wrecks, fighting over who's gonna grape the girls first. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is sick. These men are sick and disgusting, y'all. Where do they do that at? You got the twins fighting over who is gonna grape this female first, y'all. That is sickening. Y'all, these boys is something else. Y'all, let's continue.
Once there was one lawsuit, a second lawsuit, a third lawsuit, you saw more and more lawsuits, more and more people coming forward. Again, these are all allegations, but it could give you a sense of why these stories are coming out now. So it appears that we go back to Renee Willett, that she is filing her lawsuit federally because she is a resident of New York and Orrin is a resident and domiciled in Florida. You can get into federal court when it's a dispute between citizens of different states and the amount at issue in the lawsuit exceeds $75,000. Okay, so Willett says that she added Orrin as a friend in a private dating and
$75,000. Oh, she must be really nice, because I would not even try to sue for 75. I would be taking them all the way to the bank like Cassie did with Diddy. Oh, you gonna pay up, sir.
networking app because they had some mutual friends in common. Now, after talking for a few weeks, she says she agreed to meet up with Orrin on the night of December 15th, 2015, after she hung out with her friends for her birthday. And she was supposed to meet him at this hotel bar, but when she got there, the bar was closed. So she agreed to meet Orrin at his apartment, which was nearby. She says Orrin offered her a cocktail, but she asked for...
Now, hold up. That sounds like a setup. They were supposed... Hold up. They were supposed to meet at a bar or something, and the bar was closed, and then she went to his house. That sounds like a setup. He probably knew the club was closed and was like, meet me over here, knowing the club was closed, and then saying, come over, to my house, meet me over here at my house, because he already knew what he wanted to do. Was these one of the ones that was met on the dating website, or maybe like Instagram? I mean, y'all, I'm telling you. And then that's how they probably get these women. Yeah, I'm rich. I'm rich. You want a multimillionaire lifestyle? You want this, you want that. And then they subscribe to the program. And then they end up getting raped and in situations they didn't know that they were going to be in with these multimillionaire. Y'all, I'm telling you, y'all ladies, y'all got to be careful. Y'all single out here and with these men like this. I'm telling you, it is. But y'all, let's continue.
Just water instead. And when he brought her something carbonated, she didn't really want to correct him, so she drank it, but now she believes that she was drugged. According to the complaint, defendant proceeded to give Renee a tour of his apartment to purportedly show her his art collection. After viewing the art in the living room, defendant then led Renee to a room near the main entrance of the apartment. This room turned out to be defendant's bedroom. Willett says that she felt uncomfortable, so she tried to leave the room.
Okay, so he gave her, when she came in there, he must have gave her the freak off tonic like Diddy was. He probably had the same mix, the horse tranquilizer, the Tootsie, all mixed in, the house special freak off drink, because she was feeling, sound like she was, rugged, according to what she was saying. Y'all smash the like button.
But Orrin blocked her path, and she claims that Orrin tried to pull her shirt down. But what ended up happening was she falls backwards onto the bed. And that is when she says Orrin raped her. And she, too, is suing for violation of New York's gender-motivated violence protection law. By the way, let me dig into this a little bit. So here is a description of why that statute is being used in this case and also the other cases. So it says here, defendant assaulted and raped Renee without her consent in order to satisfy his penchant for sexual violence. Defendant exhibited anger and animus towards Renee. So it's the idea that he allegedly did this to her because she is a...
So it sounds like, he was aggressively raping her, y'all. That's what it sounds like. This sounds kind of scary.
...woman, and he has this animus towards women, that the sexual assault is allegedly evidence of that animus. So now you see why that statute is being used. We want to end this now with Jane Doe. Okay, this unidentified accuser, this fifth accuser, and possibly, arguably, maybe the most horrific of the civil complaints that we found. And that is not easy to say, considering what the allegations have been up to this point, but I'll lay out why. So this case was filed on behalf of Jane Doe in New York State Court just last week, naming the twins. And by the way, I have to quickly say, based on what we're seeing in the Sean Combs cases, where you have a number of Jane Does who are trying to proceed anonymously, a lot of them are losing that. A lot of the times the court is saying they have to identify themselves, that it's only fair the defendants have a right to investigate and challenge these accusers, that this is a civil case that they brought. And we'll see if that's the case actually when it comes to the Alexander.
And you guys, I don't believe that the judge will probably let the Jane Doe be, you know, the real name for the Jane Doe be revealed. When it, I believe, I mean, I may be wrong, but I probably think that, you know, out of New York, they're probably not gonna allow it, because y'all, these are multi-millionaires. These jokers got money. If they release, let me turn the camera. If they release the name, if they say, okay, no, the Jane Doe, her name has to be, you know, Jane Doe removed, and the name, y'all, you know, is goon time for them, right? All they got to do is get on the phone and make a call. And then you see Mr. Ivan, he looks like a whole pimp and a half. Y'all, he will call his goons up and he will tell them to go and, you know, harass the girl, you know, unalive or whatever, y'all. Because y'all, when these type of situations go on and these people got money, they will activate their goons to get the victims of the situation either taken out or, you know, just watch, you know, all kind of crazy stuff, right? I'm telling you, this is crazy.
Their brothers. But going back to this Jane Doe. So she lived in New York, but had traveled to Florida, where she says that is where she was assaulted. And we believe this is actually the same incident that led to criminal charges being filed in Miami against the twins, because it matches up with what the state's attorney there said about the charges when they were announced. So Jane Doe says that she met Alon on this dating app called Bumble in 2016, and they had this brief, casual relationship, and she says she met up with Alon at his apartment in New York two times. Then, in December, Jane Doe says she was visiting her family in Central Florida for the holidays, and then from there is when she traveled with her sister and friends to Miami to celebrate the New Year. But this is what the complaint says. Upon information and belief, Alon utilized location identifying measures and social media to discover that plaintiff was in Miami. Around mid-afternoon on December 31st, 20...
Oh, wait, hold up. Was he stalking her? Y'all, he was stalking her. Okay. That sounds like some type of stalking, but y'all, let's continue.
2016, on New Year's Eve, Alon and plaintiff began communicating via electronic messaging. Plaintiff learned through her text conversation with...
Here are.
Oh, Lord, let's skip this commercial. Y'all, he was stalking her. OMG. This is
that
crazy.
he was also in Miami. So the plaintiff says that Alon invited her to this barbecue and pool party allegedly happening at a luxury building in Miami Beach. And she says he even sent her a photo of people apparently enjoying themselves at a pool to try to get her to come there. So Jane Doe says she ended up taking an Uber to the building, where Alon had introduced her to his brother Oren and a man named Ohad Fisherman, who Alon had said was their cousin. Now, this is interesting because an attorney for Ohad, who's been named, by the way, in connection with the Miami criminal charges that...
Y'all, was this is like the fourth person. They got the three brothers, Ivan the pimp, and then this guy. Y'all, this was a full operation. Y'all can't tell me not for one moment that this was not a whole operation, a whole RICO case. Y'all, I'm telling you, this sounds like some, like, you know, some crazy stuff, y'all. Let's continue.
Resulted from Jane Doe's allegations, or seemed to, has said that his client is actually not a cousin to the Alexander brothers, but now you can see why there was this belief by prosecutors that he was. Anyway, coming back to this. She claims that Alon led her to a building, and Oren and Ohad were following behind and locked the door. And she says these twins argued about who would be allowed to rape her first.
Wow.
And Oren allegedly won that fight. She says Ohad held her down by the shoulders while Oren raped her. Not letting up until...
Oh my God, y'all, this is sickening. This is crazy.
She stopped struggling. Now, Jane Doe's complaint says While being raped, plaintiff instinctively started pretending to enjoy the rape, as she had previously heard a rapist may stop if the victim acts like they're enjoying the rape. It worked. Shortly thereafter, Oren stopped and angrily exclaimed, "F this," as he threw his condom on the ground and stormed out of the bedroom.
Oh my God.
And then, Jane Doe says, Alon raped her next and then ordered her to perform sex acts on Ohad. But she claims she was unable.
Y'all, so they were three-waying all the time, most of the time. OMG, y'all, this is sickening, y'all. This is sickening, y'all. This is a freak off trafficking situation. Y'all smash the like button.
To do so because she was just crying uncontrollably so hard. She claims from there Alon forced her to shower and even joined her in the shower, all while Ohad allegedly stayed watching.
Oh my
and then she was
God.
sent on her way home in an Uber. Her complaint reads, defendant's demeanor throughout this orchestrated assault was composed as if it was just a normal routine in the course of their day, with complete and utter disregard for the lifetime of trauma, shame, emotional turmoil they imposed on the plaintiff. It goes on to say the defendants do not regard women as human, but rather objects to fulfill their deranged, violent desires. Defendants who were wealthy and arguably good-looking could have engaged in all of the consensual sex they desired, but that is not what they sought. It was the brutal and violent assault and rape of women. And she is
Wow.
also suing for violation of New York's gender-motivated violence protection law. So what happens next? Well, there was this hearing to finalize bond on the state charges for Alon and Oren, and has been reset for Thursday. But for now, the brothers are behind bars at two separate jails, according to inmate records. Their alleged accomplice in at least one of these attacks, Ohad Fisherman, is expected in court on Wednesday. And Tal Alexander, who's only charged in federal court and not in Miami, was denied bond by a federal judge and is locked up at the federal detention center out in Miami. So that gives us an idea of perhaps the brothers, Oren and Alon, will not make bond at the federal level as well. But no.
And they're going to ship them out, y'all. They are saying they're shipping them out, and they're going to be at the MDC next week, y'all.
No word yet on when Oren and Alon will face a federal judge. But during his first court appearance after his arrest, Oren interrupted the judge in state court to tell her why he couldn't be in jail.
Your Honor, my wife is 9 months pregnant, due any day now with her.
Oh, hold up, swole up. Now, that is a absolute game changer. Did he just say his wife is 9 months pregnant? OMG, y'all. OMG, my wife is 9 months pregnant? Does your wife know that you've been raping all these women? Y'all, I will hurry up and put in my divorce papers. And I'd be like, and since they millionaires, y'all, I'm telling you, I would let the judge handle it. Y'all, that's crazy. Y'all, OMG. He has a wife that's 9 months pregnant. That's why he can't be in jail. Sir, were you thinking about that when you was doing all this graping? Y'all, let's wrap that back. Let's wrap that back. OMG. This joker said he got a wife that's 9 months.
Was denied bond by a federal judge and is locked up at the federal detention center out in Miami. So that gives us an idea of perhaps the brothers, Oren and Alon, will not make bond at the federal level as well. But no word yet on when Oren and Alon will face a federal judge. But during his first court appearance after his arrest, Oren interrupted the judge in state court to tell her why he couldn't be in jail.
Your Honor, my wife is 9 months pregnant, due any day now with our first child. Her family's in Brazil. She's counting on me to be with her during labor.
And because it's considered a dangerous crime, I'm required to hold you with no bond.
There's also a federal hold, Judge.
She does, Your Honor. He has a hold for the FBI.
And Oren's wife, Camilla Hansen, is apparently from Brazil. She has also reportedly deleted her Instagram account since this
Wow.
arrest. And we will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they come in.
OMG. He is trying to get out because his wife is 9 months pregnant and she's from Brazil. She deleted her social media because she is probably embarrassed. Y'all, she is probably like, hurry up and give me my one-way ticket back to Brazil. My husband is accused of raping people in the federal system and state and federal. You got state and federal rape charges. And now, and we married, and now I'm 9 months pregnant. y'all wouldn't see nothing but smoke behind my tail. Y'all, I would get out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. 9 months pregnant? This woman is 9 months pregnant and he is married and doing all this stuff? Y'all, I would get, y'all, I'm telling you, that woman, I bet you he said that she deleted her social media. She deleted her social media. OMG, y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is OMG crazy. Y'all, let's listen and see. Let me see. This is crazy. OMG. 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 I mean, this is crazy. I am at a loss for words. I mean, they is begging for bail, and this joker got a wife and pregnant in 9 months. Oh my God, y'all! Do you know how terrified I would be if I find out my husband is great? People, y'all, this is crazy. Put a 1 in the comment box if I wonder where their father was. I wonder if he was a part too, because I don't think Ivan is the father. I think he was just like, the freak off ringleader. But is he associate? I wonder how, is it a business or family? I don't know. But y'all, let's continue. Let's listen in and see what else.
Brothers, will the prominent trio accused of sex trafficking and sexually assaulting women for years be granted pretrial release? We're going to break down the arguments from both sides, including the latest points from prosecutors in a filing that reveals so much about the case. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Our coverage continues surrounding the Alexander brothers, Alon, Oren, and Tal, these wealthy and influential figures in the real estate and private security industries who are now facing some very serious charges, sex crimes charges at both a federal and state level. And now, one of the latest filings from prosecutors, federal prosecutors to be more specific, this letter to New York District Court Judge Valerie E. Caproni not only provides a great snapshot of the federal case, the potential evidence, the charges, but it lays out a comprehensive argument for why these alleged sex traffickers should not be granted bail, not be granted pretrial release. So if you're not totally familiar with this case that has been making headlines for the past month or so, the filing we're about to break down is a really good summation of what has happened and what we're talking about. So what are we talking about? Well, first, the federal case. What are the federal charges? Well, we have these three brothers that have been charged with participating in a sex trafficking conspiracy from at least 2010 through at least 2021. And furthermore, Tal has been charged with sex trafficking of someone identified as victim 1 through means of force, fraud, and coercion back in 2011. So that's another count in this indictment. But the third count, Tal is also charged alongside his brothers Oren and Alon with sex trafficking of another alleged victim, identified as victim 2 by force, fraud, or coercion. And this concerns back to events in 2016. Now, as described in the indictment, it reads, the defendants worked together and with others to repeatedly and violently drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of victims, and that they, quote, arranged for these sexual assaults using the promise of luxury experiences, travel, and accommodations to lure and entice women to locations where they were then forcibly raped or sexually assaulted, and that they would often drug the alleged victims too. So when we're talking sex trafficking, it's basically using illegal means.
Hey, welcome in, Art World. Welcome in, everybody. Y'all, these boys, oh my goodness, y'all. I am shocked. Like I said, I just heard about these brothers, and to hear the disgusting stuff that they done to a lot of these women using their money because they are multi-millionaire real estate boys. Y'all, it is sickening. It is sickening, y'all. This is operation. And I wouldn't be, I wouldn't put it past the feds that they would put this as some type of RICO case, RICO charge, because y'all, it was an operation. They were not doing this, just a few of them, you guys. They were rounding up girls, I mean, off of social media, Instagram. I mean, they were probably meeting them at the malls, at the clubs, and inviting them over. And next thing you know, it is a graping situation, y'all. This is terrible.
And transporting or recruiting or harboring or enticing women here for the purposes of commercial sex acts, meaning sex acts that are done in exchange for something of value. Doesn't always have to be money, could be attending events, could be travel, could be gifts, could be reputational benefits, something like that, financial benefits. Now, violence, deception, drugging, those can be key components of the sexual events as well. But for purposes of the bail analysis, and also kind of as a preview of maybe what we can expect at a trial, as prosecutors explain in this bail letter to Judge Caprioni, which is again what we're going to be focusing on, this case, according to them, is much more broad. Quote, evidence from the government's investigation goes well beyond the conduct charged and shows that the Alexander brothers have, together and alone, repeatedly and violently raped and sexually assaulted dozens of victims dating back for nearly 20 years. To date,
Y'all, they've been running their operation for almost 20 years, y'all. That is crazy.
law enforcement agents have interviewed over 40 women who reported being forcibly raped or sexually assaulted by at least one of the Alexander brothers.
Wow.
The rapes and sexual assaults described by victims were committed between approximately 2002 or 2003 and 2021. In the victims' accounts to date, each defendant has separately been accused of forcible rape by at least 10 women.
Wow.
By the way, Oren and Alon, who are twins, they also face state sexual battery charges out in Miami, too. Now, this is in connection with 3 separate alleged incidents. And Oren faces charges in all 3. Alon faces charges in 1. By the way, what do sidebar stories like this prove? That the world is just incredibly scary and unpredictable. And honestly, when you think about that, one of the scariest and most unpredictable things in life can be getting in.
Y'all, I mean, this is like scary and crazy, right? I mean, there is no way that you know, these people need to be doing this with all this money. They're multi-millionaires. And if the one girl suing for 75, I think, thousand or something, that's like way too less. But y'all, let's continue. This is crazy.
Focus. This was really interesting because prosecutors explained in the letter that since the indictment, federal authorities have allegedly found more evidence against the brothers. Quote, the government has adduced even more evidence of the defendant's criminal acts. On or about December 11th, 2024, law enforcement agents executed a warrant to search an apartment in New York City leased by Tal Alexander. During the search, law enforcement agents seized numerous photos and videos depicting at least Oren, Alon, and several third parties.
Wait a minute. Hold up, swole up. I'm telling you, was Diddy and these 3 musketeers, brothers from another mother, that are Diddy's, you know, brothers from another mother, doing the same thing? It says that during the search, law enforcement agents seized numerous photos and videos depicting at least Oren, Allen, and several third parties recording or photographing themselves with women in states of intoxication. Wasn't this what Diddy was doing? Diddy was recording them, giving them rugs, holding them against their will. I'm telling you, this sounds like a Diddy 2.0. I did not know of this story, y'all. I'm telling you, this is crazy, y'all. Let's continue.
Parties recording or photographing themselves with women in states of intoxication and undress. In multiple videos, the women appear initially unaware that they were being recorded and became upset and attempted to hide or flee from the camera after realizing they were being filmed. In one video, the camera peeked over a bathroom stall where a woman and a man, who is not one of the defendants, are engaging in intercourse. When the woman looked up and saw the camera, she hastily began to get up, saying no and stating in sum and substance that she does not want all of friends. Multiple other videos found in Tal Alexander's apartment depict Alon, Oren, and other men engaged in sexual contact with women who were visibly under the influence of alcohol.
OMG. Y'all, they were recording women under the influence. Y'all, they were doing the same thing that Diddy was doing. Is this a part of being a millionaire? I mean, I really wonder because, I mean, look at what Epstein was doing. Look at what Weinstein. Look at what Diddy was doing. And then now these real estate multimillionaires, is that like something that they do? I know, right? Celebrity Scandalous, she says the Diddy special. Right. I mean, yeah, D dot nasty, right? This is disgusting, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. Smash the like button, y'all. These jokers is crazy.
Or other substances. In some instances, at least one defendant and another man physically manipulated the women's bodies in order to have sex with them, while the women did not actively participate in the sexual activity or turned away. In combination with the facts set forth in the detention letter, this evidence underscores the depraved nature of the defendant's conduct and the immense danger they present. So it's one thing to have witness testimony. It is entirely another thing to have video evidence. Now, I imagine defense attorneys here will work hard to have this evidence excluded from trial, perhaps.
Y'all, this is crazy. I mean, y'all, I'm telling you, this is like a Diddy 2.0. But y'all, they are brothers, 3 brothers, a set of twins and an older brother. And then Mr. Ivan, he's like the freak off operating kingpin of the whole operation, I bet. I bet you he was the one out there doing the scouting. And you know, sending these girls to different locations and doing that. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is a whole operation. If this don't turn into a RICO case by the feds, I will be surprised. But there is more than just these 3 brothers, the freak off master, Mr. Ivan, and that other person that was participating in this thing. This is y'all, this is crazy.
Suggesting it is prejudicial, perhaps suggesting that it's not really evidence of sex trafficking per se, that maybe it more addresses state sexual assault charges, not federal sex trafficking crimes. Actually, keep that in mind for a minute. We're going to address that in a little bit. But they may also argue, look, these videos shouldn't come into evidence, perhaps suggesting it was obtained by the government illegally. And we'll see those pretrial battles come. But on its face, yeah, that's not great for defense attorneys, those videos or those alleged videos. And right now, prosecutors say that that evidence is important for the bail analysis right now. Forget about its influence at an upcoming trial. That evidence is important for the bail analysis because here's the history regarding bail in this case. So the defendants were arrested in Florida on December 11th. Tal was ordered detained by a magistrate judge deemed to be a flight risk. The court weighed the evidence, the significance of the charges, and they all warranted pretrial detention. Another judge ordered Alon to be detained after a 2-day hearing, again, flight risk. And as for Oren, this month he waived his right to a removal hearing. This is about how to get him in front of a judge in the...
Why is Amazon paying me?
I mean, y'all, this is, like I said, they must have been practicing from the same freak off book. Is this, like I said, is this like something the higher elites must have some type of like book or something? Like the higher you go with making money, you got to do these like nasty, demonic, horrible things to people. But no, I can't even say that because they were doing this in high school, they said. They were doing this same behavior for over 20 years, almost as long as Diddy, right? Oh my, y'all, this is crazy. This is disgusting.
He didn't fight to be extradited to New York from Florida. And also, apparently, Oren agreed to detention. But apparently he wanted to revisit that issue once he was in front of the Southern District of New York judge. And in fact, he submitted a letter last week to the judge overseeing this case in New York, Judge Caproni. And in this letter, he is opposing pretrial detention. I'll break it down for you real quick. His lawyers argued first that this case is legally faulty, that this seeks to convert years old and recently alleged claims of social context sexual misconduct into a commercial sex act for purposes of sex trafficking. But Oren makes the argument that the government didn't allege how he benefited financially from this or received something of value. He says that these allegations are more the jurisdiction of state sex crimes charges. Again, like I said before, that this isn't sex trafficking per se. Oren's defense counsel writes, the government's theory of the case is that if someone schedules a date, pays for that date's Uber ride from New Jersey to New York, and any non-consensual sex subsequently occurs, that is sex trafficking. Oren argues that's not sex trafficking. It doesn't work like that. He also fights against the conspiracy part of count one in the sex trafficking conspiracy charge, in that he says there was no agreement to break the law. At a prior hearing, he says the government alleged that the brothers had an explicit agreement to orgy, but that is not an agreement to do something unlawful. Now, these are interesting arguments, for sure, interesting defenses. Then they may work when it comes to a motion to dismiss the charges, or maybe even at a trial. It might be a good defense. I will say, though, I am not sure it is really an issue in a bail analysis. We're going to get more into that in a minute, but I don't know if it really applies right now. Now, more specifically, he addresses issues surrounding pretrial detention, because Oren argues that this case will require a lot of discovery, and if he and his brothers are behind bars, that is going to make it very difficult to prepare for their defense. We actually...
Oh, no, sir. It's not going to make it hard. They are going to get all the discovery. You can be in jail while they get the discovery. Don't try to ease on up out of jail. Look, ease on up out of jail, because you know when you get there, you are used to a certain lifestyle like Diddy, right? Not used to no dirty MDC, but y'all, that's where they going, right on to the MDC.
We saw a similar argument in the Sean Combs case, but it didn't work there. It wasn't effective. There, the court and prosecutors made accommodations for Combs to review everything on a laptop in jail and to speak with his legal team. Oren also explains that just because he's charged with sex trafficking doesn't mean he shouldn't be released. Look at the Mike Jeffries case. We've talked about that before, former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch.
Y'all, don't he look like a Halloween project? He looks disgusting and scary. Look at him. He looks like he got his Halloween costume on. I mean, y'all, when Halloween is there, y'all, he ain't got to do nothing. I mean, he got his natural Halloween costume on. He looks scary, right? So this is the CEO, Mike Jeffries, that Diddy told on. So instead of taking a left at the light, right at the light, I'm sorry, Diddy took a left at the right, and he snitched on his old buddy, old pal, CEO, Abercrombie and Fitch, Mike Jeffries, and told the people what he was doing with his sex trafficking situation. Y'all, Diddy is a hot mess. I mean, who's to say? Did Diddy know what these jokers were doing too? I'm sure they probably met somewhere. I'm sure they might have been to the freak-offs, and Diddy's telling on them too. Y'all, I don't know, y'all. Let's continue.
Who was hit with federal sex trafficking charges in New York. He was granted pretrial release on a $10 million bond. And again, Oren says he's charged with sex trafficking. Why can't we be released? Now,
I mean, are they a part of the Diddy committee? Like all of them are sex traffickers? And Diddy then snitched on them. Diddy's like, oh no, y'all jokers, y'all. I had a big sex trafficking ring. No, Mike Jeffries had one, and guess what, feds? The brothers, these three brothers, they over there sex trafficking too. Y'all, Diddy is snitching on everybody, but the ones he don't want to snitch on is Clive Davis and Lucia and Grange. Y'all, let's continue.
Now, amongst the other arguments that are made in this letter, Oren also says he has no criminal history. He has strong ties to the Miami community, meaning he isn't a flight risk. And he says if he ran, his life and his family's life, including his children's life, would be permanently ruined. Now, to be clear about something, the Alexander brothers have all denied any sort of wrongdoing. In fact, attorney Howard Shrebnick spoke to WPLG after a hearing on Friday, calling the accusations baseless, saying not one of the accusers has...
Now taxes.
Uh-oh. Let's skip this commercial. Y'all, what if Diddy is tied to snitching? Because, y'all, I just barely found out about these brothers. And these brothers are multimillionaires. Did Diddy snitch on them too? Y'all, I believe Diddy did. Because Diddy snitched on Abercrombie and Fitch CEO. And he probably knew these jokers because they was probably buying mansions up in California, in Miami. I mean, who's to say? Were they even Diddy's neighbor in Miami? Y'all, I believe that Diddy knew these jokers too, knew what they were doing, and told on them too, because it's not far and few in between that they are doing the same type of behavior. I mean, I promise you, this sounds like they all got the same freak off trafficking book that they're, the SOP, right? The freak off trafficking SOP. They were all doing the same thing, and all of them got money. They are buku rich. But y'all, let's continue, because I believe Diddy was snitching. Y'all, he was snitching. I'm telling y'all, he was snitching, y'all. That's why he didn't want to invite what's that comedian, the one that was just saying Diddy didn't want to invite him because he seemed like he was like a snitch. Y'all, I'm telling you, Diddy is snitching, y'all. Let's continue. This is crazy.
Now, one of the accusers has been under oath before a federal judge to point fingers at the defendants to say that they have done anything wrong. Now, with all that in mind, now I want to get into the government's letter that opposes the applications for bail made by Alan, Oren, and Tal. In other words, the government is asking Judge Caproni to affirm the denial of bail for Tal and Alan and to deny Oren's motion for bail. So let's talk the law here. So bail can be denied for a criminal defendant if there is a finding of risk of flight by preponderance of the evidence. That is a lower standard. That is much lower than, let's say, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's more likely than not is what we're talking about. More likely than not that something is true. Bail can also be denied based on the dangerousness of the defendant, and that actually has to be proven by clear and convincing evidence. That is a middle ground standard. That is a higher standard than preponderance of the evidence, and it is lower than proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a middle standard. It's saying it's highly probable that the contentions are true. Now, there are 4 factors to consider in a bail analysis. There is nature and circumstances of the charges, the amount and strength of the evidence against the defendant so far, the history and characteristics of the defendant, and does the defendant pose a danger to those on the outside if released? Now, there is a special caveat here, because we actually saw this in the Sean Combs criminal case, but when you are dealing with a sex trafficking charge, again, like the Alexander brothers, again, like Sean Combs, there is a presumption of detention. It is a presumption that can be rebutted, but it is a presumption of detention, and it means that no set of conditions would be sufficient to assure the defendant doesn't flee or assure the safety to the community. So here, the feds say the brothers are a flight risk and they are a danger to the community.
Yeah, they are. I'm pretty sure they are. Let me turn the camera. I'm sure they are a flight risk and a danger to the community. These jokers is multimillionaires. They can buy an airplane and order the airplane to take them wherever they want to go, right? Just like Diddy. Diddy owns his plane. He has a plane. He could get on that plane and tell his pilot to take him wherever he wants to go, right? I'm telling you, these jokers is something else, but I believe Diddy was snitching on them too, because y'all, Diddy was like, he ain't going down by himself, and he is slowly snitching, and y'all, I mean, the feds is slowly rounding people up, right? Y'all, let's continue.
Community. Now we want to get into the why. So let's start with the dangerousness factor. The government repeats some of the core allegations in this case, where they say for more than a decade, the defendants worked together in a sex trafficking conspiracy that used force, fraud, and coercion to rape and sexually assault numerous victims. The defendant's danger has been demonstrated repeatedly and goes well beyond the charged offense conduct. The Alexander brothers' serial sexual violence began far earlier than the period of the charged conspiracy. The government's evidence shows...
Oh, they're calling them serial rapists. OMG, hold up, swole up. They are calling them serial... Oh my goodness, hold on. Okay, oh my God, serial sexual violence. They're calling them serial rapists, y'all. I can't say the R on the, we have to say grape because YouTube, but oh my goodness.
Shows that they have been raping girls and women alone together and with other men over a period of nearly 20 years.
Oh my
the
God.
government has interviewed more than 40 of those victims and expects the number to continue to grow as the investigation continues.
Wow.
The Alexander brothers drugged victims, rendering them incapable of either consenting or resisting. Then, when the victims were physically compromised or incapacitated, the defendants held them down and forcibly raped them. Some victims said no or stop. Others screamed. But the defendants ignored their victims' distress. Multiple women described being terrified that the Alexander brothers were going to hurt or even kill them. These victims' only goal in that moment became to survive. Multiple victims who were drugged required medical assistance in the hospital after their encounters with the Alexander brothers. In short, the defendant's conduct was inherently dangerous, involved numerous victims, and makes clear that the safety of others and of the community cannot possibly be ensured without the defendant's detention. Now, a couple of things here. Not all of those allegations.
Y'all, OMG. It sounds like they were raping them, like, brutally. And it was there were serial rapists, y'all. I mean, y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy. But y'all, let's continue.
Will come into this criminal.
Let's skip this commercial real quick. OMG. Let's skip this commercial.
So the government can allege more. They don't have to prove necessarily everything beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get detention. There's a lot more flexibility and leeway with what they can present now for a bail detention analysis versus what they have to present at a trial. Just keep that in mind. Now, from there, prosecutors address a specific argument or defense from the brothers, where it's, hey, government, you're saying there is a clear danger here, but there's only 2 counts of sex trafficking in this indictment. One with respect to victim 1 and the other with respect to victim 2. Well, prosecutors say in response, that in no way suggests that these brothers didn't also engage in a much broader pattern of sexual violence. Again, going back to the idea of they have a large leeway with what to argue in a bail analysis. And then the prosecutors say this, and this kind of gives us a preview of what to expect at a trial. They say that they expect not just the victims in the standalone counts to testify, like victim 1 or victim 2, but many, many more people. And they say as a point of law that they expect those witnesses to testify not only about the overall widespread, broad sex trafficking conspiracy that makes up count 1, but that these witnesses will also testify pursuant to Rule 404B and 413. So what is that? So 404B is about evidence of other crimes or...
And y'all, let me turn the camera. I hope that we don't see none of these victims going on YouTube tour and, some fake ones coming out saying that they did something. Because, y'all, that's probably the next thing. I mean, y'all, that may be the next thing. We hoping that nobody comes out, no fake victims, and come out and say that they were a part of the scandal, too. Because we already know with Diddy, we seen fake victims, going on YouTube tour doing the most, right? Okay, we see, because I believe that this situation is tied to Diddy. I think, I may be wrong, but I'm saying they are multimillionaires. They were running their own operation, just like the CEO, ex-CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and Diddy was aware of this, and Diddy is telling on all the little sex trafficking rings from these high-powered people. So I believe so, but y'all, let's continue.
Or acts or wrongs of a defendant that can come into evidence at trial. Now, it's not to show, oh, well, they did this, then that must mean they're guilty of the crimes that they're charged with here in this case. No, that's not proper. That's not allowed. But that evidence can come in to show a plan, to show a motive, to show maybe a pattern. So this is a pattern and a plan of sexual violence. 413 is more specific and says in sexual assault cases at a federal level, other evidence of sexual assault can maybe come in as well. So you're kind of getting a preview of what a potential trial could look like and who may be called at the Alexander brothers federal trial. Now from there, prosecutors say that all of this testimony in this case will be backed up by witnesses, electronic evidence, physical evidence, and documentary evidence. So what you're seeing from the federal prosecutors is that there is a strong sense of confidence in this case. We always say the feds don't bring a case unless they're fully ready to win. That's why they have such a high conviction rate, particularly.
And y'all, that is so true. That's why I don't know why people is sleeping on the feds, because like with the Diddy situation, they were like, oh, these tapes that were, shown, I guess, to Diddy and his lawyer and the feds whenever they had their court hearing in November, December, I believe it was December. But remember, Diddy's lawyer was like, "Oh yeah, Diddy, he's going to be found innocent because Cassie, she was, she was approving of the acts or whatever, right? She was, compliant. She was like okay with it. She agreed. But y'all, these feds are not going to give the whole package on what they really have on you to the other person, to Diddy's lawyer, because they know what they really have in the other videos that Diddy is probably not, he knows about them. Oh, he knows about them because he was there recording or getting recorded, but he does not think that these feds are going to bring forward those tapes. And everybody is sleeping on the feds. When I heard that like a couple of days ago, they think that, oh no, Cassie was compliant, she was consenting to all these. Yeah, when everything was good, she was consenting. Yeah, she was performing like Michael Jackson. She sure was when everything was good. But when the situation turned for whatever, however long it took, that's when Sugar Honey Iced Tea got real. Right? The feds are not going to give Diddy's lawyers that, because y'all, we know Diddy's lawyer be going on TMZ. He be on YouTube tour too, telling everything that, he shouldn't be telling as his lawyer. But y'all, let's continue.
In the Southern District of New York. And I will also say statements like this show that they are quite far into their review and investigation into this case too, which, by the way, they should be. Obviously, they brought the charges. But from there, let's talk about what the prosecution says next. The prosecution also says that the victims' accounts corroborate one another. And that's important because when you have what seems to be the argument here, independent witnesses who come forward and they say the same kind of thing, that shows a pattern. That shows that they're credible. It's not like they all came together and came up with stories. No, that's very different from what it seems prosecutors are saying here. Now, prosecutors are also arguing here that for the dangerousness factor in a bail analysis, we are talking decades of alleged violent conduct. So not just sexual assaults amounting to sex trafficking, but what they say is, quote, a disregard for humanity. Here's an interesting point in the letter, too. They write, the defendant's arguments that they are not dangerous to the community because the charged conspiracy ends in 2021 or because the rapes described by the victims to date occurred earlier is of little mitigating value when considering the scope and duration of the defendant's pattern of violence. The evidence in this case shows that the charged sex trafficking conspiracy continued at least until 2021. Second, it is similarly unavailing to claim that the present lack of more recent assaults indicates that the conduct has stopped. There is no evidence demonstrating that the defendants learned the error of their ways. The fact that video versions of trophies of the defendant's criminal conduct were found in Tal Alexander's residence as recently as last month also suggests that the defendants have not closed the door on their criminal.
Y'all, who do they think that they are fooling, right? They surely not fooling the feds, right? Because these, like I said, they are millionaires. They have money. They have goons. They got people working for them that will take and do whatever it is that they're ordered to do. So they can't even say, oh, it's safe. We're safe people to be out, released. We're not going to harm anybody. We don't know what y'all going to do because y'all are multimillionaires. We don't know if you're going to go out there and run amok like y'all been, right? No, absolutely not. Y'all, the same thing with Diddy. Y'all, when these people live a certain lifestyle, they are scared of the MDC. They are scared. They've been doing it for 20 years. But y'all, let's continue because they not fooling the feds or me either.
Conduct. Finally, a nearly 20-year unbroken pattern of violence that targeted scores of women that the defendants met in both planned and chance encounters is in and of itself clear and convincing evidence of the continued danger the defendants posed to the community. that the Alexander brothers' sexual violence persisted despite several victims' attempts to report their assaults to others demonstrates that the Alexander brothers cannot be trusted to stop their violent assaults, even in the face of criminal charges. The evidence demonstrates that for decades, the Alexander brothers have acted with apparent impunity, forcibly raping women whenever they wanted to do so. In short, the risk of the...
And y'all, let me say this too. When it's said to be like forcibly graping women, y'all, that is like an aggressive, like a terrible situation, right? So that means if they've done it before, the feds are looking like, we don't care if it was 5, 10 years ago. You've done it before. You are capable of doing it again. We are not going to let you out because we already know what you're being accused of is not a situation that we want to put back on the streets, right? But let's continue.
Defendants' continued sexual violence and to facilitating the sexual violence of each other cannot reasonably be prevented through bail conditions. And prosecutors highlight that so much of this alleged sexual violence happened in their apartments, in their homes, in hotel rooms, in private settings, behind closed doors. So that was all the dangerousness factor. Now let's move on to the risk of flight factor. And when we talk risk of flight, one of the major issues is the seriousness of these crimes and the serious penalties. We are talking about a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison for counts 2 and 3, and up to life in prison on all the counts.
I mean, y'all, that is a long time. Yes, D-Dot says over 20 years. Yes, I'm telling you, this is going to carry a lot of time.
In other words, there is an incentive to run away, to flee. And prosecutors say the brothers have an incentive to flee because of the reputational damage that a trial would have nonetheless, even if they're found not guilty. Writing how the brothers carefully curated their public image and reputation in the real estate and security industries, and that a public prosecution and trial will drastically affect that they will flee. They will not want to subject themselves to this. The government writes, for example...
Yes, celebrity scandalous, absolutely. They are worse. I mean, they are so much worse than Diddy. I mean, y'all, I mean, this is sad. This is crazy. And like I said, they've been doing it for a very long time.
The government is in possession of multiple video recordings created by Orrin Alexander depicting Orrin and Alon engaging in sexual activity with at least one identified victim. As described above, additional videos found stored on hard drives show the defendants and other men engaging in group sexual contact with a number of women, including numerous women who are visibly impaired. Put simply, the defendants have every incentive to flee to avoid prosecution and a public trial, putting their criminal exploits on display. And the government also highlights how the brothers have strong family ties to the nation of Israel, how they've traveled frequently.
Oh, they're Israeli. Oh, I didn't know. They do look like they could be from Israel. Okay, so that's why too. They are Israeli. So the judge is like probably going to be like, "Oh no, you can go run back to Israel and then we can't get you." Okay.
There's a risk that they can just go there, reestablish their lives, and have no issue. And that's interesting because we always say, oh, someone can flee, but really, where would they go? Are they really a flight risk? Could they really start a new life somewhere else? Well, here, prosecutors are saying that the brothers could easily set up shop in Israel and there would be no problem. And then, maybe not surprisingly, when it comes to a risk of flight analysis, the prosecutors highlight the brothers' vast financial resources, their wealth. And I mean, they say Alon proposed that the Alexander family can post bond, quote, in any dollar amount. So again, when we talk about...
Oh my God. Did y'all hear? One of them can post bond in any dollar amount? Y'all, these people got a lot of mucho dinero. OMG. Celebrity Scandalous says, imagine how many women have been trafficked to that country. I know, right? Probably a whole lot. If he can post bail for whatever amount, just throw a dollar sign up there. And they can post that bond. Y'all, they got a lot of money. They are very dangerous, right? Anytime you got that much money, you are desperate. You don't want to go to the MDC. Y'all, they trying to do anything to not go to the MDC, anything to get out of police custody at the time. Because just like he said, they're from Israel. They are a flight risk. They can go over there, build a whole new life, and I won't even never be looked at as rapists over there in Israel. Right? Y'all, these jokers got money. One of them can post any amount. Just throw a dollar sign amount on there, Judge. Any dollar amount of sign. 500 trillion billion dollars. Yep, I got that. Oh my God, y'all, that is crazy. OMG.
About that, their ability to just run away, that's important. And the prosecutors highlight that the brothers can travel by private planes, by boats, and that makes it much harder for law enforcement to track the brothers' movements. And the government argues that the defendants' proposed bail package, their answer to all of the government's concerns, they say it's insufficient. So what's the bail package? Well, it has three main components I want to talk about. One is a bond of $115 million, or in any dollar.
$115 million for a bail? Y'all, OMG. That is crazy.
Amount. Two, private security to monitor the brothers' movements inside of a luxury condo.
Okay, hold up. Is this not what Diddy was? I mean, he wasn't putting that much money up. Do these guys got more money than Diddy? Or was Diddy just being cheap about his $50,000? I think he said $50,000. These people is putting down the dollars. Like, put a number. How many continue? I got zeros. Zeros for days. Y'all, these people got money. That much money for a bond? That is a lot of money. Y'all, like he said, these people got boats, private planes. They probably got yachts. They probably got, Escalade trucks. I mean, they probably got all kind of stuff. This is crazy. Oh, my God. They must have more money. I wonder if they have more money than Diddy. I don't know.
No. And three, the execution of preemptive waivers of extradition, basically saying if you should end up in another state or country, you're giving up your right to an extradition hearing. Essentially, you're giving up your right to fight extradition back to New York. Basically, the brothers are saying, don't worry, government, we'll come back. No worries. Now, why is all of this insufficient in the government's view?
So, y'all, they are the Alexander brothers. Is a set of twins, and an older brother. They are multi-millionaires. They are very wealthy real estate people. They're rich from real estate, and they got a lot of money.
Well, first of all, let's start with the money amount. So the government explains that the defendants proposed securing that incredibly high bond amount with various properties. But the government argues, even if that's the case, the brothers would still have vast resources if they flee the country. For example, while Alon listed out the financial information that he has regarding his own liquid assets, what about those of his family? Also, we're talking a family that reportedly has $10 million worth of property outside of the U.S. In other words, the government's saying these brothers could risk...
Oh, they got $10 million worth of properties outside of the United States? Y'all, OMG, y'all, these jokers is fully loaded. Fully loaded. And for one of them to say, just throw a dollar amount basically on there, whatever the bond, Your Honor, throw a number out there and with a whole bunch of zeros. Keep on writing the zero. Keep on, like more. I can keep on. I just want to get out of here. Y'all, he said put a number basically. I can pay whatever number that you want me to pay, Your Honor, just to get out of this jail. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy.
Losing all of their properties and assets if they flee, because they'll still have enough on the other end. If they could just flee to another country, relocate, and start business up again. Then there's the issue with the private security condition in the bail package. So a few things here. First, the government says there's a conflict of interest here when a defendant is paying for his own jailers. That was the same argument that was raised by prosecutors in the Combs federal criminal cases.
Y'all, let me tell y'all a thing or two that I know about the feds. I already knew when Diddy was, his lawyer was asking the same question, can Diddy go and, stay in the apartment on the hilltops in Manhattan or wherever? And the judge was like, let me see, Because Diddy was complaining about the MDC. Oh, it's dirty, Your Honor. It's nasty. We got roaches and blah, blah, blah. Right? And then the judge was like, okay, I'll go and send my, federal agents over there, check out the apartment. And then Diddy's lawyer's like, yeah, he'll have security and no phone and no internet and all these bells and whistles allegedly that Diddy's lawyer was, trying to sell to the judge, right? So the federal judge sent his people over there, came back. They had another court hearing, and the judge, guess what he said? No, absolutely not. Get somebody else to do it. Diddy will stay right there in the MDC. The same thing is going to happen to these brothers. Whenever the feds now know that one of the brothers can make bail, and he said whatever the bail price is that he can make bail, y'all, I'm telling you, the judge was probably like, oh no, none of the three musketeers will not be able to make bond. We're not even allowing that because they are filthy rich. You can keep on putting zeros after zeros after zeros behind the number 1 or 5 or whatever they start with. Continue the zeros for however long they got the money to cover it. That's when the judge was probably like, oh no, absolutely not. If they have all of that money, y'all, they can book out of here and go wherever. I mean, they can probably buy a private island and live on it. So y'all, this is crazy. Y'all, this situation is crazy.
As well, how can we trust the private security that is on the defendant's payroll? Also, the government says that this private security team, they don't have the same kind of resources to stop or restrain a defendant when you compare the guards of a jail or a detention center. Those resources are much more limited. It also doesn't help that the brothers propose being on house arrest in Miami, which is 1,200 miles away.
Imagine making.
Oh my God, y'all, let's skip this. Y'all, this is, oh my goodness, y'all. I know Diddy has something to do with this. Diddy was snitching.
From the New York federal court. In other words, that creates a greater risk when transporting them, places an undue burden on the courts and law enforcement to ensure that the defendants don't flee. But the government also made another argument that was brought up in the Combs case too. And this is the two-tiered system of justice argument. In other words, it's not right that defendants of lesser means who can't afford private security are detained pre-trial, while those who can afford it are released. It's leveraging their wealth for special treatment. Now, remember what the counter-argument to this was. This is something that was argued by Sean Combs. Ultimately didn't work, by the way, to get him bail, but, he had different circumstances there. But the argument is, well, we are only proposing such an expensive bail package and private security because the government has raised issues about our wealth and our resources. We have to present something this extreme to address the specific concerns the government has about us as wealthy individuals. The government.
But see, y'all, Diddy was trying to lowball. I think Diddy was doing like a $50,000 bail package or whatever, along with all these private security and cameras and all this other stuff. But y'all, these jokers are like, maybe they must have way more money than Diddy, because y'all, Diddy, but we know Diddy was cheap. He was using his money for the freak offs. But these jokers got money, a lot of it.
Can't use our wealth as a sword and a shield. So we'll see if that argument is presented and might be successful. And finally, when it came to that last condition of the bail package, the Alexander brothers' proposal to execute those waivers of extradition that I mentioned, the government says this is an empty gesture. It's an empty promise because we don't even know if those would be legally enforceable. So the government concludes and says, quote, as set forth above, Alon, Oren, and Tal Alexander pose an ongoing and significant danger to the community and present a serious risk of flight. The government respectfully submits that the defendants cannot meet their burden of overcoming the statutory presumption in favor of detention. There are no conditions of bail that would assure the appearance and compliance of the defendants or the safety of...
Okay, Diddy was offering $50 million. Okay, but these people these brothers were, one of them was even offering way more than that. And they said, whatever the bail is, they basically got the money to cover it. Y'all, these people are filthy rich.
Of others, accordingly, the defendants' applications should be denied. Now, before we finish up, I gotta talk to you about this one little mix-up that apparently happened last week when it came to bail. So it was reported that Oren had a scheduled bail hearing in Miami federal court, but was almost accidentally flown by the U.S. Marshal Service to New York. Yeah, according to reporting from the Union Bulletin, a U.S. Marshal spokesperson said that Oren was in a car on his way to the Miami International Airport when they realized their mistake. That spokesperson said that Oren was never on a plane and never left the state. But look, good thing they caught this mistake. Could have created a larger issue. But let's see where this Alexander case goes next. We will continue to follow it for you here on Sidebar. But that is all we...
Okay, y'all. Okay, so y'all, I'm telling you, this situation, like I said, I believe that this situation is one of Diddy's snitching cases, because like I said, these jokers got money, and I know they had to be probably at the Diddy parties. I'm gonna do my research, y'all, but y'all, there is no way, because I was like, when the Abercrombie and Fitch got arrested and they let him go, because y'all, he is 100 million years old and he looks like a whole scary Halloween project, right? They were probably like, we would, you could pay the, bail, whatever, because they allowed him to get bail for whatever reason. Maybe because he's older, I don't know. But, Diddy told on him, and I'm sure that he done told on these boys too, because they were probably partying and hanging out and probably seeing how many people, oh yeah, you have, keeping tabs and seeing who raped the most girls. They probably was doing some sick stuff like that. Because if we all notice, what were all of them doing? All of Diddy, Abercrombie and Fitch, and these brothers, the Three Musketeers, they were drugging these girls. They were holding them against their wheels. They were, raping them, really, really, terribly. And then they were promising them things that like false promises, right? And then they were getting them, these brothers were getting the women from every and anywhere. Diddy pretty much too. And also Abercrombie and Fitch. Y'all, they were getting these people, misleading them with false, promises and doing the most horrific, awful things to them. But y'all, I'm going to check into this story because I just seen this earlier. And before I went on, I hurried up and tried to read, and I was like, oh my goodness, this sounds like some, Diddy situation, horrible things, right? The same thing that Diddy was doing, same thing that Abercrombie and Fitch was doing, rugging them, having, wrecks with them, transporting them. Y'all, all this stuff is the same. Like, they are like doing the same thing, like the same plays, right? But it's crazy. It is so crazy. I'm telling y'all, this is crazy. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that Diddy had turned them into the police. I believe Diddy did. He turned them into the feds. Because the feds were probably like, Diddy, you got anything else? You want to snitch, you want to tell? And Diddy probably turned them in because, y'all, he's not saying anything about Clive Davis, anything about Lucia and Grange, and none of his friends that he partied with at these freak-off parties for the last 30 years is coming to his rescue. Nobody is coming to his rescue, right? I'm going to look into this because, y'all, these boys, these three brothers, the Three Musketeers, y'all, they have a lot of money. I don't know if they got more than Diddy, but it seems like they got even more money than Diddy. They are multi-millionaires. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Celebrity Scandalous says they did. I think so too. I think so too. I'm telling you, it is crazy. It is crazy. I'm telling you, these jokers, I believe, was turned in by Diddy. Diddy then said, I'm a snitch on all these Rex trafficking. Because y'all notice that the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, nobody's like thinking about the CEOs. When he was, arrested, whatever, detained or whatever you want to call it, he got some stuff from the feds. I was like, who is this Abercrombie and Fitch? He's an ex-CEO. But when I found out, of course, I linked it and said, okay, Sean John and Abercrombie and Fitch are both like clothing companies, clothing brands, right? And Diddy would always try to find a friend everywhere he went, right? Because Diddy can't sit down. Diddy has to go and get friends everywhere. So did Diddy link up, I believe, with Abercrombie and Fitch? And then link up with these twins, these twin brothers and the older brother? Because they all were like, rich, very wealthy people. I think so. I'm just saying, y'all. I am just saying. But y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. Celebrity Scandalous, all of my mods, thank you guys. Y'all subscribe to Celebrity Scandalous. Y'all, she has great content. Y'all subscribe to her. Also, my baby Jamel Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. Y'all want to get a good laugh. Y'all go check my baby out and subscribe to his channel too. And y'all, I'm not going to keep you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Always, as I say, lead with love, peace, and tranquility as always, y'all. And we will see y'all in the next video. Bye.